Hello, world. I am Dr. Helen, CEO, that's Chief Engagement Officer of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, and your host for Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. Welcome to today's show. Sharing the wisdom and insights of others is a way to encourage you to share your knowledge of what you've learned as a leader. You know, there's so much to unpack with what we do. And today we're launching a new series. And I have with me today a good friend, and I'm going to tell you about her in a minute. I've known her for more than 25 years, 20 years. It's been a long time. And there's something we share in common. We share ministry in common. And as many of you know, and some of you don't, yes, I am an ordained minister and I love it, love it, love it. Didn't always want it. However, like other things that are for our greater good, we grow into. And some of what we're going to talk about today is going to take us to that place. As a strengths, resilience, and leadership coach, the greatest thing we do at Dr. Helen Holton and Associates is stand in the gap for leaders, especially women leaders like you, who want more for your life and your leadership. Our number one goal is to motivate, inspire, and change lives by supporting you as you move forward in pursuit of your goals, dreams, and desires. What we know is that your greatest you is ready to break through to your best you. And we're here to help you every week. Every week, we explore topics to discover, uncover, and unpack ways for you to level up your leadership by leveraging your strengths, the best of who you are. Managing weaknesses, we all have them. There's no such thing of let's just focus on the best of who I am without looking at those aspects of yourself that may be getting in the way of your greatness. And build resilience. Resilience is power. Resilience helps you persevere and push through life's distractions, detours, and derailers to your success. With our innovative and heart-centered approach, we help you achieve more success, less stress, and greater joy in life. How does success show up? 3 clear ways to measure your success is to look for the increase in your performance, your productivity, and your prosperity potential. Yes, I'm talking about profits. We know the bottom line because at the end of the day, whether you are a for-profit, a nonprofit, in government, the bottom line is one of those major measures that we look at to determine, are we succeeding or is there more work for us to do? It gives you a freedom to breathe easier, to fully exhale, even in the face of the ever-increasing demands on your time, talents, and treasures. As your show host, executive leadership coach, and convener of leaders, Dr. Helen speaks power into how you can optimize your leadership, your life, and your legacy. Isn't that what you really want for your life? This is our first episode in a new series, and I'm really excited about it because occasionally we talk about it, but we're going to spend a few weeks and really go deeper into what that means. As I've been listening to you, leaders, especially women leaders, common themes have been coming up, and it just made me stop and say, you know what? This is a new series for us to explore. And it really happened. I'm going to tell you a little story. As I was driving to the airport, you know, Dr. Helen Speaks comes from wherever Dr. Helen is, but it's our goal to show up every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time for you. And I was on my way to the airport thinking about my next assignment, the next thing I was going to do. And that's what had me bring our guest to the platform today, is that we are at the quadrennial, which means it only happens every 4 years, of Global Women in Ministry in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. When I thought about that, I said, oh my goodness, it was 2018 since we last convened together. And here we are from pre-pandemic to post-pandemic. And oh, what a blessing it is, even in the reality of which we live life today. So this is our first episode, and the theme is seasonal self-care. Every season counts is what we're going to talk about today. Self-care isn't a one and done that you do once and think, oh, it's over with. No, it takes intention. It takes you doing it on purpose in order to produce the increase of what you want more of in life. What are you willing to give up or decrease that you might receive your increase? Well, we're going to open this up and unpack the WIFM. What's in it for me? Or from my perspective, what's in it for you? And why this is important for your success, whatever that is that you measure for you. So today we're diving into to whet your appetite for seasonal self-care and understanding that every season counts. Now, I open up the show with this question. Do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? If not, stick around. We're here to help you figure that out. If you do, then maybe there are a few ways you can learn to level up your leadership and life for more. And more importantly, that's what we want for you more than anything else. So let me open up, let me tell you a little bit more, because I think this is important to give context to this and how we've come to be here. Over the years, we've learned a few things. We've learned at the heart of what you want really lives within you, a higher power to deepen your awareness and engagement with your best self, because that's where it really starts, with you being at your best. And it's through your willingness to confront your deepest truth about what you really want for your life, where transformation begins, personally and professionally. The key ingredient is your engagement. Engagement is one of the most effective ways to level up your leadership and leverage your strengths for more satisfaction, serenity, and success. It launches your personal why, your unique path to be seen, heard, and impactful. Engagement sets you apart from anyone else. And on some level, isn't that what you really want for your life? To have a genuine sense of belonging where the world gets to connect with the best of who you are? Our goal is to help you bring your best, your A game to the world. It's here that we support, guide, and coach you to connect and engage deeper with who you are at your best. So let us jump right in. Now, before we jump right in, as I always say, get your note-taking device handy. Pen, paper, laptop, iPhone, Android, Google phone, whatever it is that you use to capture notable nuggets, because we don't want you to miss anything that we're going to talk about and explore today. Without further ado, let me introduce our guest today, Reverend Angela Bullock. Reverend Angela Bullock is an ordained minister. She's a pastor. She is a hospital chaplain. And that's what got us talking while we're here with all these women in this really high-powered environment, learning about self-care and talking about it. Because most of these things begin with a conversation. And so I'm going to open up. I've known Reverend Bullock. We were ordained together at the same time. And we're here together away from our home spot, bring it right here to you. Reverend Chaplain, coordinator of the Baltimore Annual Conference, Second Episcopal District Women in Ministry. Yes, she's all of that, a true leader doing what she does best. Let's unpack, and I want us to focus on what is in common between self-care, resilience, and leadership. What are your thoughts on that?
Self-care, resilience, and leadership. It all goes hand in hand. It's very important that we care for ourselves. Unless we are caring for ourselves, it is very difficult to have opportunities to care for others or to provide the care for others. So we have to first and foremost take care of ourselves. When you ride on an airplane, they tell you if there's an emergency to put the oxygen on yourself first and then to help others. So it's the same thing here. Take care of yourself first before you begin to take care of others, and continue taking care of yourself even while you are taking care of others. Resiliency, when you are taking care of yourself, you are building up resiliency for yourself so that when a strong wind blows, you won't topple over. You may bend a little bit, but you will not fall down. You will not break if you have built that resilience up. And what I share with a lot of the employees in my employment is that when you build that resilience up, you have a foundation. You have something to fall back on, as we often say. And so everything that we do, but I always tell them, whatever your faith base is, start there. That's the best place I can think of to start. Whatever your faith base is, start there. So for me, it's a Christian. So my faith base is Jesus Christ. And, studying the word, reading the word, meditating on the word day and night, spending time in prayer, and spending time listening for the voice of God to direct me so that I don't step off into something that was not intended for me. Because it's very easy to do when you're not focused and when you're not aligned with the Lord. And this in turn helps you to be a dynamic leader. It helps you to provide insight and wisdom to those whom you are leading, to those whom you are providing care for in another way. And
So
so
I
it's
love that. I love that. I love what you're saying. And it makes me think about when I think about self-care, it's something we do on purpose. Diane von Furstenberg said, it is so important to take time for yourself and find clarity. The most important relationship is the one you have with yourself. And so I love that when we talk about faith or spirituality. And, I'm going to say this, I acknowledge those who are agnostic or even the atheist that says, I don't believe in God, period. And everyone, it's what I love about free will, that we all get the choice to choose where that is. One of the things I find in common around that is that there's not a human being living that's purely human flesh that can make the sun shine or the sun to set or the flowers to grow. So there's something that I say in the realm of the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, that we're part of something far greater than what we ever can be in and of ourselves. And it is in that, whether you get up and meditate and uh, or pray or jog because you say, well, yes, I don't know that there is a God because there's no proof, like an agnostic might do. Yet an agnostic doesn't necessarily deny the presence of God. But when you think about self-care, it's got to be something within you that motivates you to do that. And sometimes you need a little nudging. Here's a connection that I know that exists between self-care, resilience, and leadership. That when you practice self-care, it's really a form of building resilience. So when you think about the different forms of self-care, and I'm going to create some buckets and let's talk about those 4 buckets. Does that work for you, Chaplain Bullock?
sure, Bullock, yes.
Bullock, I know. It's like that councilman, he's John Bullock, and I know you're Bullock, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the correction. What's in a name? Everything when it's not said properly. Uh, but let's talk about cultivating your community and the importance of having a community, whether it's your tribe, your posse, your crew. What value does cultivating your community do for you when you think about self-care?
So, cultivating your community, the value that it brings through in thinking about and doing self care is that you have support, right?
Mm,
We all need support. Somebody who, or people, who are like minded, who understand and respect you, right? Those
mhm.
things are important. And as you build community and invite others into community, you have that opportunity to really just, I guess, progress forward because you have that support, because you have those persons who are pushing you forward or who are giving you another perspective about what you're doing, right? And it all works together for good. It all comes together and it assists you in the process. And not only are you learning, but your community in turn is learning from you as well.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's that tribe, it's that crew, it's that, when your back is up against the wall, who do you call? Usually it's someone from that like-minded who cares about you and where you're going with the best interest of you, which takes us to the next point, the role of well-being or wellness, how we honor the body temple. You know, Conversations with women over the last month have been about, oh, I need to get away. Oh, my backache. Oh, you know, I woke up and couldn't move. My knee was swollen. All these little things.
Yes,
Honoring the body temple. How does that play a part in terms of self-care?
So yeah, so you just really have to take the time to take care of yourself. And I know that we are all very busy, um, going from one thing to the next, but it is important to take that time to stop and to breathe. I
Mm,
have found out that intentional breathing supports you so much. We breathe in and of ourselves without even a thought of it. It's automatic for us because the breath that we breathe is not our own. It's the in breath of God that comes through us. And so, as we breathe and take that time to breathe intentionally, then that does a couple of things. It clears up space in your body, right? It gives you more clarity and focus because it's getting rid of some stuff that's been there that's unnecessary. And then it also brings a peace and a calm. I teach breathing technique. I encourage people to take that time and breathe. I was finishing my seminary degree, finishing my thesis, and I hit the button at 11:59 p.m. to send it, and after I did that, I remember taking a big sigh, a big breath, and just letting it out. And it helped, but I sat on my sofa for 3 days. I didn't go anywhere. Why? Because I had not been breathing. I had been holding my breath trying to finish that
mm.
paper and trying to finish that CPE internship all at the same time. And when I tell you, when I got up from that after those 3 days, I knew that that was my work. My work was to help and to empower other people and to teach them about breathing and about taking care of yourself and taking that time and making that time to take care of yourself, even when you have deadlines.
What's interesting about that, Chaplain Bullock, is that it takes me to a place. Studies show that most of us practice shallow breathing,
Mm.
which doesn't allow the body to really appreciate that deep inhale and that exhale. And when you talk about breathing and learning to breathe for relaxation, takes you to that place of mindfulness, giving priority to make mindfulness matter, to
Absolutely.
slow down. And I think breath goes right into that, that takes us to that place of being mindful, whether it's reading, calming things, or turning off the television, the news, what's going on in the world, putting on some soft music or music that soothes your spirit and just gives you that space to take care of you.
Absolutely. And after breathing, make sure you hydrating yourself. Make sure you're drinking the water, right? Make sure you're not sitting on the sofa for 3 days. Make sure you're getting up and you're moving around. You're moving your limbs, you're moving your body, you're walking, you're running. Whatever type of exercise works for you, but do some. Even if you have to do chair yoga, even if you're sitting in the chair and just twisting your body for 15 to 30 minutes to allow the blood to flow,
Mhm,
and taking in that oxygen that you need, so that you can be well.
mhm.
And then,
AARP did an article that said walking is the best form of exercise you can do.
yes,
It doesn't mean mindless walking or getting from point A to point B, but talking about intentional walking, And if you're not accustomed, start with committing to 5 minutes a day. I'm going to walk 5 minutes today just to exercise, to move, to allow oxygen to flow in and out of my body. 5 minutes turns to 10, 10 to 30. And pretty soon, you're just moving through life, making it happen and doing one little piece that feeds into self care. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
You
And
know,
the
go
other
ahead.
the other intakes as well, what we are putting in our body, what we are eating, what we are feeding ourselves is very important. More fruits and vegetables, just more fruits and vegetables, and get those in, to get the nutrients and the vitamins that you need to help you to be well. I tell you, I burnt out last year. I burnt out going through COVID. I'm a chaplain in a hospital, and I felt the need to be there every day. I was blessed that I did not get sick, that I did not contract COVID. And so I was there for people every day. And so over a 2 year time I span, I racked up 250 some hours of vacation
Wow.
that I had not been taking because I was doing the work and not taking care of myself. And in March, went to the doctors and found out that I was not as well as I thought I was. And so I
Mm.
had to make some changes. And so the changes for me have been, because I have 250 hours every month since May, I have taken a week off from work. And I think I'll continue in that tradition until the end of the year. Because even though I'm using the time, I'm still accruing time. And so at some point, I'm going to take me a big vacation, like 3 weeks. But, right now, and me taking a week off from work every month has just added so much to my life and to the work that I did.
Yeah.
I'm not as tired doing the work or after doing the work now as I was when I was burning out. So it's
I love it.
very important to take care of yourself. Employment, look at how you're doing the work that you do and whether or not it's beneficial to you. And if it's not beneficial, find some ways to make some changes so that you can heal.
I love that. You know, when I think about that, it's the notion about how do we embrace a healthy posture and put regularity to it. I love that. 250 hours of vacation time gained in 2 years' time. That's a whole lot of time. And when you think about when you break that down into 40 hours a week and you're still accruing leave time, look at the opportunity that you have to practice self-care. I have a dear friend of mine who I say is the best home spa person I know that makes intentionally time to soak in a hot bath with soothing music or meditation or listening to a book, an audible book, while just relaxing with aromatherapy in the back, in the atmosphere in the room, all these things. You feel so refreshed when you're able to do that.
Yes.
Oh, and I see we're stuck here a minute. Okay. Angela, can
So, so
you
it's really important, to do all of those things that we have been talking about, to take the time to, just intentional breathing, intentionality in everything that we do, beginning at the level or the foundation of your belief system, right? And then building from there, working things out physically, and there's the emotional, the mental. There's so much that we need to be concerned with and being well. And we have to do it in a way that they work out for one another, that they work together for good, right? That they work together for good for you, for your well being. And so it takes a delicate balance. And sometimes there's going to be more on one side than there's the other. And that's okay. When you're aware of it, then make the change, make the shift so that you're better, make the shift for your wellness. It's important.
Yes, and keep telling us about it. So I want you to go to that place. I don't know if you can hear me, but keep going.
I can hear you.
Okay, so great. This is one of those things that we just work through those challenges. And I love this. I'm not getting stressed out by this. I'm
Awesome.
hoping that everyone else can hear me. In fact, I'm going to see if I turn my camera off, if it improves things. Um, well, I'm going to keep talking. You can hear me, Angela?
Yes, yes, I
Okay,
can hear
that's
you.
great. That is great. And so I just love this because this is one of those moments where resilience is kicking in,
Absolutely.
and the beauty about resilience kicking in is that it keeps us on track. It keeps us from taking that deep dive into where we may not want to be. And I don't know what this is going to do, the recording, but I love it because this is what resilience is. It is being in that space to keep it going and moving forward. And I'm going to put this out there because the devil is a liar. And the devil ain't going to steal my joy. And you may not be able to see me, but you can hear me. So I know I am doing what I am destined to do and show up.
Dr. Helen, all this is a practical application. This is a practical application of what we've been talking about and having that resilience so that if a wind blows, you may bend a little bit, but you won't be knocked down. And so you have kept it going and, sharing and sharing and sharing. And I am thankful to have had this opportunity to have been here with you and to share about self care. Self care is essential to life and to living. And so it is very important, right? It is very important. Sometimes we may believe that we are taking care of ourselves, and then something happens, and you realize I have not been taking as good a care of myself as I should have been, or even as I thought I was. I tell you, when COVID hit, it hit all of us by storm. We were all knocked off our feet for a minute. We were all wondering what in the world is this and how do we make it through? And people dealt with depression, being closed in,
How to
having to
be in
stay
this
in,
life
Dr.
and
Helen, not having the opportunity to go out beyond their porch, because we didn't know what it was, didn't know how we were going to deal with it, and how it was all the effects and the impacts that it would have on us and on our lives and on our way of being. But we have arrived at August the 2nd, 2022. And while COVID is not gone, we are still in a place where we can do more, where we're able to be back outside, but we have to be cautious of our activity and what we do. So COVID showing up shifted the whole way of being. And so now we're working through being again, right? Or being anew. And some people will call it being renewed. However, it works for you, just know that it's important to take care of yourself and do checkups. Do checkups with your doctor, do checkups with your community, do checkups to make sure that you're okay and that others around you are okay as well. Dr. Helen, you back? And so we're not able to hear you. It's been great sharing with everybody. And I hope you have received something that will help you as you move forward. Hold tight.